Hello and welcome to Cyrils Brettspiele durchgespielt. My name is Nils and today we are talking about BattleCON War of Indines. I'm pretty sure it was pronounced at War of Indines. Okay, so let's talk about BattleCON War of Indines. First of all, and again in a nutshell edition, so very fast, very quick. Let's take a quick look what is in the box and then go from there. Here's a sheet of paper. I explain that later on. This is a life spinner, so you have 20 life. In the middle, that is for force gouge mode. There are tons of modes in the game, and every time I'm referring to a mode, I will not explain it in this video because that is a variant, and variants are cool for games but not really necessary for the base game. So these are generic tokens. You use that over the course of the game, but all of them can use them. So these are so-called flights: flight 3, 2 and 1. Each flight has 6 characters, which is on this sheet. You can see it on this sheet. And flight 1 is the easy mode, flight 2 is the intermediate mode, flight 3 is advanced. There are a couple of more flights in other BattleCON games, but that's not included in this video. So you get for each single character one of these sleeves. I show it in a second here. So one of these sleeves out of paper. So you get for each single character a couple of cards, which is technically the character card. Then you have these style cards. They call style cards. Style cards have border on all of this side and a connection on this side. Then you have a special unique base only for that character. And you have a finisher card and you have a reference card for your opponent. So these comes always with that. Then there is a cardboard marker for that character, and sometimes tokens, sometimes not, sometimes additional cards, sometimes not, depending on the character and the styles. Anyway, these are the 6 flight 1 characters, another 6 for flight 2 and another 6 for flight 3. We don't use that. We have this board. This game is a 2-player, it could be more player, but basically a 2-player game, and it has a style of the old PC game Street Fighter thing. So 2 players are here, they are fighting with cards, and they are fighting with these base cards here, which is, where is it? This base cards here, and their styles, and together they giving pairs of 3 numbers. Priority in yellow, which means who is the first player, then range and a power, which is damage. Priority determines who is the first player, then it goes to range and to power. You could be stunned when you're not having enough stun guard to overcome the stun. If you're stunned, you cannot react, you cannot fight back. If you have enough stun guard, then you can react and hit back. The game goes at a maximum of 15 rounds. Each round is called a beat, and each beat will consist of 2 cards from each player, and then you have a couple of sequences each beat. I explain it in a second. So what else is in the box? I explained all the characters. There are arenas. Arenas is a variant, a mode as well. So then you have this special action. They come in later in the game for advanced players. So they are also variants. Tag bases for tag team action, which is also very cool. 6 base cards if you play it with 4 players. You have one base 4 times just for a 4-player game. And you have the bases burst, strike, shot, drive, grasp and dash. So now let's take a look to the rules. And for the rules, I will take a little bit closer this game board because it's very easy. What you're doing is secretly you're choosing from your hand one base, one of these cards on the right side and one style and combine that. Let's flip it over. You do it like this. You see it's a red and a blue card, so a match will always be a red and a blue to just double check that you have the right cards in front of you. When both characters picked and revealed, picked their cards, they will both face down here. At the same time, we reveal the cards, and then the start of the beat can go on from there. First of all, there are a couple of effects. All the effects trigger and they are mandatory. You have to use the actions if it's possible. All of these trigger effects are in here. So start of the beat could be really at the start, then it goes over here. You compare the priority. Whoever goes first is the active player, the other one is the passive player, and then you're going like this order here, and that's really cool, handy dandy on this player board. So a beat sequence is set attack pairs, which is blue and red cards, then anti-tokens. If you have tokens, you can use it right now. Reveal attacks, perform all reveal effects. They are really rare. That's not usually common that you have reveal effects. Resolve a clash if necessary. A clash is if both of them have the same priority. Perform all start of beat effects. They could happen. So then active attack. Then you perform your activating effects. Check range. If in range, perform on hit. If the attack hit, do damage. If damage, perform on damage effect, perform after activating effects, and reactive attack if the player is not stunned. So what does that mean? Let's say we have Luke on this side here and Varna on this side here. These are the starting positions indicated by the circles here. So the range is right now 1, 2. This would be range 1. So after you do all your effects, you have to check the range. This means 0 plus 1, so it's a range of 1. This would be not in range. If he is the higher priority player and has the first shot, he cannot shot because he's not in range. If he would be here, then he would make damage according to this. 0 plus 1 is 1 damage. In this case, Varna would take damage down from 20 to 19. There could be, of course, some effects to reduce the damage, but all of these triggers out of here. Here's, for an example, a so-called soak effect. And soak means reduce damage. So even if he would make damage, it could happen that I'm not taking real damage. I take a hit, but not damage, because I'm soaking that damage. After that, you check if I'm stunned. Normally, your default stun value is 0. That means if I take 1 damage, at least 1 damage, I'm stunned. But, however, I can have these stun guard effects, which means you have to be higher or equal to that. So this has to be a 3 would be, you have to be higher than a 3 to stun me down. So after that, I have maybe a reaction. Again, all the effects from my cards trigger as well. And after that, we have a so-called recycle phase, which is really cool. So your cards you have here go right now into a discard pile. At the start of your the game, you perform a discard pile like this. You perform a discard pile like this, and then at the next turn, you take your 2 actions like this, and when it goes into the recycle, you push these back into your hand, this over here and this over here. So that means the cards you have just used, which would be in this case a Paladin Strike, they are out for 2 rounds. For the next round, for the round after the next round, and then it goes back to my hand and I can use it next time. So my opponent know every single card on my hand according to these reference cards and can be prepared what could I do next or what not. All the numbers are indicated on here, so he knows exactly my things I'm capable of, but yeah, you never know exactly what will really happen. In addition, to make that a little bit more spicy, you have this unique finisher card, double-sided. At the start of the turn, you pick one side, and you have to take the side later on, so your opponent is not really he don't know exactly which side you pick, so it could happen this or that. And all of that is a really tactical two-player, yeah, I would call them Street Fighter style game. Two-player, face-to-face, straight in your face. And keep in mind about all these variants, you have a lot of bases here like tag team, which brings in more on one side, and each player has 20 life points, so you have to beat down every player down to 20 points. So like always, in a nutshell, let's go and talk a little bit about my experience with this game, and this time I have a special for you. Just make one little cut. Hello and welcome to Cyrils Brettspiele. My name is Nils and today we are here at Icon Convention and we are talking about BattleCON War of Indines. So we just finished that game here where Kalistar battled against Vanna, and Kalistar won that battle. As you can see, he is down here. Hello, Jordan.
Hello.
Jordan, you won with Kalistar the battle. Was it your first game for a battle?
It was my first game. Yes.
And how do you like it? Did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it, yes.
I mean, winning the first game is always good, right?
Right. It is. Always is. It was a little... Took a minute to catch on to it, but after I got the hang of it, it was pretty good.
Okay. Mm-hmm. How long did you play so far to win the game?
We played for 15 minutes, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after 15 minutes, your first game ever, you won the game. Mm-hmm. So you only need 4 or 5 minutes to acclimate into the game and get into the game.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, sounds good. So Joe, you are the teacher this time and you are the loser, obviously. I mean, you can see it. What are your opinions on BattleCON?
I am a big fan of this game. I think that the designer set out to create the feeling of a 2D fighting video game and did a pretty good job of it. The characters all play really differently from each other, and in my experiences so far, it doesn't really benefit you to just jump around characters. You should really focus on one character to really kind of learn how their best moves are and what their particular styles are. This was my first time playing Vanna. It didn't go so hot,
obviously,
but it was still a lot of fun, and there's a lot of replay value with this.
Okay, so you would say the learning curve in that game is tremendous because of you're playing your character.
I would say the learning curve of understanding how the game works is super quick.
Okay.
Jordan understood how to play the game in a couple minutes. How to play the game well, that is something entirely different.
Okay.
That's what's going to take time.
Okay. Okay, thanks so much, both of you, and
Thank you.
See you next time. Bye-bye. Thanks so much, Joe and Jordan, for sharing your opinion on BattleCON with us. So I met Joe and Jordan at Icon a couple of days ago, and yeah, it was really interesting. I saw them playing BattleCON, and I wanted to do this video on BattleCON, so I was just immediately asking them if they wanted to be on the show and sharing his personal opinions. I've never played any games with Joe and Jordan, so I don't know exactly what they are usually playing. So please, Joe and Jordan, feel free to comment that and give the audience your preferences for games, or what you like and what you hate in games and styles of games. Anyway, so yeah, and this was a little bit of an experiment, but I think it's really cool to have some other persons on the channel from time to time. So yeah, that was my little in a nutshell edition for BattleCON War of Indines from Level 99 Games. Cyrils Brettspiele durchgespielt. My name is Nils and see you next time. Bye bye.